Okay, so kindly tell me, what the hell was that?
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
I mean, look, I was watching this game because I love Army and I hate Michigan, but that's a different story. I'm thinking, all right, RJ, you took Army to cover because that line was just so scrumptious. It opened at 23.5. It closed at 22.5. So you're giving Army 23.5 to start. You give them 22.5 by close, and you're expecting them not to cover the spread. So if you're following along, hey, all I do is pick winners. And that one almost had me on the bet. So everybody had Michigan winning this game. Everybody but Army. Everybody. Your mom, your dad, your uncle, your cousin. We all had Army losing this game, but closely, because all they do is run flexbone, which eats up the clock. And because they can eat up the clock, and because that defense is stout, you knew it was going to happen. But who had 3 fumbles in the first half by Michigan? Like, I know the offense takes some getting used to, but my God, Shea Patterson, sit him down, put Dylan McCaffrey in. I thought that was what was going to happen in the second half, because all of a sudden Army's leading 14-7. And yeah, they had 109 yards of total offense, but 100 of them came on scoring drives. And all they did was line up and play ball. Kelvin Hopkins, you're the man. Like I've been trying to tell people, finding excuses on Twitter. Kelvin Hopkins, all he does is win. Now, this is going to be a loss for them like it was a loss last year, double overtime, deja vu for them. But this time, the offense had an opportunity to win the game late, to give Army that top 10 win it's wanted. It would have been its first one since 1963, and they looked like pulling it off against Michigan. Now, there's no Heisman winning trophy quarterback over there, and you can talk about how poor the defense was at Oklahoma last year, but you are coming to understand, it's not don't schedule service academies, it's don't schedule the good ones. Army's a good one. They hadn't been for years. Now Jeff Bunkin has them running. He gave this speech about infantry and ranges being hot, and I'm sure that all the Army folks were excited about it. I'm not even going to pretend to know what he was talking about, but I knew it was what his boys needed to hear. I'm so proud of this Army team. Rank Army. Look, I don't care if for you quality to loss people, this is one, okay? Army went into the big house where there's 110,000 Wolverines fans, and they gave them the business. If nothing else, get hype about the superintendent for West Point being on the sideline, doing push-ups, getting it done. I can't imagine seeing a university president on the sideline trying to get stuff done, man. And then hearing about Darrell Williams and just how great that dude is at just being Darrell Williams was awe-inspiring. All of this goes to the thought that I need to get out of this. I need to get in the shade because I'm hot and it's real. So we're gonna change it up right quick. Look, a couple takeaways from this game. Army, for the last 2 years, has done nothing but give people problems. It had one loss since last September, and that was to Oklahoma. And there are lots of people who seem to believe that losing to Oklahoma in the way that Army lost to Oklahoma was some sort of blemish because the defense was historically bad. Well, first of all, it was historically bad pass defense. Second of all, Kenneth Murray Jr. announced himself with 28 tackles in that game. And third, now you're getting to see why it is so difficult to play and beat Army, okay? Army runs the flex bone. You know who else runs the flex bone? Navy. You know who was good up until a couple years ago? Navy. Air Force has been out to lunch for about 20 years. But that's kind of the point here. They run what they run better than when you run what you run. And when Don Brown came out with what would look like a 3-high safety look, I was like, oh no, didn't you tell us that you've been watching film on this team all year, all summer, that you've been thinking about this game since spring ball? Doesn't seem like it. Didn't seem like it at all. Because Kelvin Hopkins and the boys, Sandy McCoy and the boys, Shupka and the boys went out there and did the thing. But we're talking about the offense. Need to be talking about the defense. Because that is going to be the subplot. That is going to be the storyline for what Army does and how good Army is at being Army. They play outstanding defense. Elijah Riley has an opportunity to play at the next level. By the next level, I mean NFL. I mean, he has an opportunity to be a professional soldier and then a professional football player. That's awesome. But if you were watching him, you saw he had the game of his life. Elijah Riley was the best player on either side of the football against Michigan, who had Dex Hill. By the way, shout out to Dex Hill. I seen you on that fake punt, dog. Hold it down for TPS, dog. I'm here for you, dog. On the other hand, Tariq Black, sit him down. Overhyped. And I mean, Shea Patterson, I thought this offense was supposed to fit him. I thought they were doing this for Shea Patterson. Turns out, nah, bruh. It didn't help because you still don't have all the tools that you need and all the pieces you need. That Army could beat you like this does not speak ill of Michigan, although it doesn't speak greatly. It speaks to just what it means to play a bunch of dudes that got nothing to lose, who are going to be professional soldiers when it's all said and done, who are disciplined, who have tremendous work ethic, who are going to leave their Michigan's visitors' locker room cleaner than it's ever been before. I'm so impressed with Army. I love that team so much. I want them to go and do outstanding things. I want to know that Kelvin Hopkins is one of those folks that when it comes time to fight, when it comes time to actually go into the mud and go get a W when it matters on the battlefield, that quarterback, that's my quarterback. That guy is fighting on my behalf. That guy decided to give his life so that I can be safe. How can you be against that? All right, doses.